Welcome to this new video on how to make gathers and attach an open-ended belt on it. Gathers are soft, fine, feminine folds that we can create in fabrics by drawing or pulling them. And open-ended belts are those through which you can run a string or a ribbon. They are not closed up. I will be working here to make a ready sample size of 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters after the gathers and belt has been attached. To get a final size of 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters like this, we need to do some planning, and here is what we need to do for the lower portion. Let's call this the skirt portion because we are trying to replicate a skirt here. So the lower portion, the gathered portion, has to be taken at least twice as much as the area in which it needs to be fitted. So if this is 20 centimeters, we will take this as 40 centimeters. However, this could be more or less depending on what kind of material we will be dealing with. Suppose we are dealing with a fine material, lightweight material, we could go up to 3 times the size or 3.5 times the size. And if we are dealing with a harder material, let's say we are dealing with corduroy or with denim, then we could only make it 1.5 or little more than 1.5 times. But here, since we are working on a medium weight fabric, I am going to take it twice as much. So 20, I will take it into 2 as 40 centimeters. And I am adding 2 centimeters to each of the sides to finish up the edges. This is not mandatory because the process we are learning is actually gathering and attaching the belt. But just for presentation purposes, I have taken 2 centimeters of allowance to finish the edges. Now, the belt width is 3 centimeters ready. When that belt is added here, 3 centimeters becomes extra here, out of which 1 will get used in seam allowance here and 2 centimeters for hem folding, which will be ready of 1.5 centimeter. Actually kept 2 allowance, but ready 1.5 centimeter. And 0.5 centimeter has been folded up. So the cutting size of the sample is 40 plus 2 plus 2 equal to 44 centimeters, and in length, in straight grain, it is 20 centimeters. For the belt is 3 centimeters ready. This is 3 centimeters ready, and a belt is always double. So 3 plus 3 would be 6, and we need allowances for stitching and folding and finishing. So 1 and 1. So cutting size of the belt is 8 centimeters by 20 centimeters, and that also has, because there is a seam here and it has to be pre-finished, folded up. So we require 1.5 centimeter here and 1.5 centimeter here. Therefore, the resultant requirement is 20 plus 3, 23. So 8 by 23. And the grain that on which you have to cut the belt is cross grain, is cross like this. While this is on straight grain, this is on cross grain. The body of the sample has been cut with the required seam allowances, 1 centimeter above, 2 centimeters on the side, of which 1 is folded in and 1 is the ready fold size. The hem also has a fold of 1.5 centimeter ready, and 0.5 is folded in to finish it. The belt, you can see, is cut as per the measurements we discussed. It has been cut on cross grain, and on the 2 sides, on the 2 edges, has been added 1.5 allowance each side with 0.5 folded in and then 1 centimeter ready fold for an open-ended belt. And after folding this, then the central crease of the belt has been made. The 2 raw edges along the straight grain, the left and right side, I ironed them in place. I folded 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter, and I have already finished them with machine stitching on both sides. The upper end that you see is where gathers will be. 1/2 centimeter above and 1/2 centimeter below, and you can see the stitch length is really big, and it's kind of, this is what we call as loose machining. Now, before I start to gather it up, we must mark its center and 1/4 and 1/4. And similarly, we will mark the same on our belting as well, so that our seam, the distribution of gathers remains equal, so that it doesn't happen that there is too much gathers in one side and less on the other. So I'm marking a half line which will match with this half. The center will match with center and the quarter should match with the quarter. So that the distribution of each quarter of the skirt portion remains in the quarter of the belt as well. Then it just equalizes the distribution. So once I have this equalized distribution, there is no way it's going to be a lopsided sample. So I have the center and I have a quarter and a quarter. So you can see that in this large sample, in this large gathering up area, when I center it like this will have to come and get gathered up here, and this much will have to come and get gathered up here. Similarly on this side, this much of it will come here. These are balancing marks that I have. They help me to balance the seam. And so this will join this will join this will join this. As a result, I will have very, very well distributed gathers. Now I have the under two threads. This is the under thread. This is the wrong side that I'm working on. Under threads, and I'm going to pull these two together and see how I'll be able to gather it up. The other two sets I'm not touching. I'm not pulling those. I'm only pulling one set of threads, the sewing threads. Pull it up to make this end to end 20 centimeters. Because the belt is 20 centimeters, you can pull it from this side as well. To begin with, they won't be even. You will have to make it even and equalize them. Once this is done, on any one side you can seal the gathers so that they don't slip away, because like this they can just keep coming out. See, you can open them up also. But seal it in a figure of 8. So you take these two threads together and go in a figure of 8 over a pin. This will stabilize your gathers. This side won't move any longer. This has now become stable. Now you can just move these entire gathers holding any one side and taking it to the other. See what I'm doing? Just carefully see. It's industrially, of course, there are rufflers available. There are gadgets that you attach to the machine which can ruffle your, which can gather up the portions that need gathering up. But in home sewing and in boutique sewing, you may not have rufflers all the time. So, you know, you need to learn the best way to create fine and even distribution of gathers. And that's exactly what I'm teaching you here. Because while you're gathering up, the markings that you had, whether in the form of a pencil line or in the form of a notch cut in these areas, gets lost because of gatherings. It's very difficult to locate them. So what I normally do is I put a pin in that place wherever my half was and wherever my quarter was, so that while I'm working, it's very evident to me that when I have to match these areas, this is how I have to do it. Now you can see right now it's a little shorter. So I'm going to pull out the gathers a little bit to make it of that size. And still this will help me that my sizing remains equal, you know, the distribution of gathers remains equal. See, like this I would try and make it equal here. And it will take you a couple of minutes to do this. It's not as simple to do it, but it's not impossible either. It's going to give you very happy results when you have mastered the technique of pulling these and evening them out. Once you have achieved the correct size, matching the center to center and quarter to quarter, even if you find that there is a little bit of discrepancy, you can still change it. All these are movable and only one side is sealed with this figure of 8 thread tying. It's like a knot. You could even do a knot, but I like to leave it like this, but it gives me an opportunity to do any adjustment from this side also. So you can see now I've got my ends and centered, it is well centered. And once I've got this side also and exact size has been achieved, then you can take yet another pin, or if you like knotting it up, then you could do the same figure of 8 over here. Take a pin, take both the threads that you had pulled, make sure you don't pull them or loosen them up now, and again tie them up like the figure of 8 which I have done. So knotting has one drawback, that should you need to change the size for any reason while sewing it up, then you can't do it because it's already knotted up. But when you have a pin like this, if you remove the pin, you can tighten or loosen it as you would like. You know, it's in your hand. And therefore, I like to do this so that I don't have any difficulty in my further achievements. Last minute requirement of you know, changing like last half a centimeter or so. See this? Now the size is absolutely correct. So it's going to fit the belt very well. I will still do minor adjustments so that they are very even, and if somewhere I see less gathers, I'm going to move the gathers a little bit so that I get more even distribution and more fine distribution of gathers. Now that the size has been checked and it's equal in the belt as well as in the skirt area, we can baste it together. You can pin baste it so that the two are exactly with one another, in line with one another. So where should you baste it? On that solid black line that we had, keeping that 1 centimeter allowance. So baste it like this. You may pin baste to begin with. And then you can use a needle and thread to baste it, because needle and thread will always give you a better idea on how your work is progressing. Now once you've basted, you can remove these other pins, the quarter and the half mark pins that you had, because they're only going to hamper your work. The ends, sealed ends one, I would not remove at this point also. Make sure you're following the line on both sides. It need not be very fine basting, but it should be good enough for you to have a good spread, the spread of your gathers not moving from one place to the other. Once this is basted, you can remove these pins that we had for sealing the seam. That is after you're satisfied that the gathers have been done well. However, do not remove these threads hanging as yet. Leave them till you do your final row of machining on this seam line. So you make sure that you are traveling on the seam line while you're doing the basting, and have a look, check out the gathers before you do a final machining. Is it fine enough, or is it making any extra folds which are not looking nice? The checking time is now. After having machine stitched, now we can remove the loose machining that we have done. We can remove this thread from here and find a clean line. You may trim away any of the raw edges that are untidy here and create a clean edge. Remove all threads that are not necessary, clean it up. Iron fold the inner finishing fold for the belt and bring it over the stitched up line so that it's 1 millimeter below that line. Don't keep it on the line because we are not hemming it. We are going to stitch it from the right side. So make sure you cover that seam at least 1 millimeter more. If we look here, you should be able to see that the underside, the inner side is deeper than the outer side, 1 millimeter or so bigger. So this is where you will pin it up, so as to, when you stitch through this groove of the previous machining, it should get caught here. See this? And this is what we need to do. We will stitch exactly in the groove here to get caught here. However, if we are going to do top stitching, that means a stitch, lots of times the belt is stitched on top 1 millimeter from the fold, then we don't need to keep it, then we can keep it equal to one another. In that case, the seam will run here. And because it's on top, it will also catch this piece. It has been basted in place now. And at every step, please check that the basting is catching the underside. This is, however, still a problem. We don't want this peeping out. So when we do a final finishing, when we do our stitching, we will take the stitching a little bit above and seal it up like this in a corner, so that the raw edges from inside are not visible. There is yet another way in which we could have finished this, but at this stage I would like only to teach this particular style, and we can seal it up either with hand or with the machine stitching that we do here. We'll go up here and come. The stitching row is now in the groove of the fold of the first row of machining. Can you see it? It's all gone within this fold here. The gathers, you can see, are beautifully turned out. The seam is in the groove of the previous machine. On the wrong side as well, you can see it's well caught here, and ends are secured and nothing is peeping out. So these are quality issues that we want. Sides are clean and hemline is done. When it comes to fine sewing, I am still for hand hemming because it just gives a beautiful result as compared to self fold with a machine. If you enjoyed today's video, then do like, share and subscribe. And if you wish to receive further notifications about the upcoming videos, then press the bell icon as well. Bye-bye.